behave yourself.
Hello.
Hey, relax.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah,
You too. Okay.
You want to come on in real quick? Come on in.
Okay.
There he is.
Hi, Laura.
How are you?
Okay. Fine, Laura. How are you?
Cece, you want to be in the show for a little while?
Wait,
You want
Joe.
to sit in the show
Okay.
with Sean?
Yeah, just real quick.
I can do something.
Yeah,
I can say
yeah.
something.
Yes,
If you
you
have
can.
script, I can say script.
No script. You just gotta. We're gonna improvise.
Okay.
Oops. You can just come sit right here.
Okay.
We're just going to film you.
Look. Okay.
Val, yeah.
Look. Okay.
Val.
You want to sit up here?
It's okay.
This would be better.
Yeah,
This would be better.
Okay, let's move.
Manny,
Let's
go.
move. Let's move.
Let me move. He says let move.
Come here. Why don't you come here? Yes, sit with me. Okay.
Okay, Cece, we just wanted to, we want you to say hi to our audience.
Okay.
So, say hi.
Hello, hi everybody.
Introduce yourself.
My name is CC. I am a friend of Laura and Mr. Chow.
Yes.
I love dog. CC love dog so much. Please excuse me. Okay.
Look at Val.
Look at the camera. Look at the camera, my friend.
So, are you having a busy night tonight? How's everything?
Everything
How's the
fine.
deliveries? Good deliveries tonight?
So.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got here so fast. This is usually like,
Yeah.
Yes.
this is a
quiet,
fast
little
delivery.
Quiet, little bit quiet.
Yeah.
I almost had to go to the hospital after. I went down and got food from you guys, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
And I got spicy plus.
Yes.
Too much.
Too much.
Sweaty. And, it's tough. It was tough. I wasn't prepared that day.
No, you definitely
I
weren't.
wasn't prepared.
Okay, Cece, well,
Okay.
Say
so
goodbye.
Very much.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Say
Goodbye,
hi,
everybody.
everyone.
I love you. CC love you, and you love CC too. Goodbye.
So good.
Bye, Stacey.
Okay, Charles.
Man.
You too. I love you too. Okay, let's go. Let's go back to work.
All right, let's go.
All right.
How's my hookup?
All good.
Good?
Yeah. I will talk louder tonight.
Do you want to?
I think it's gonna be fine. I'll just talk
That one
louder.
was for the guns. I was actually soliciting more feedback. So this might be our first episode like post Indian. Usually we get it like mid, but this was kind of a weird one because they got here so quick.
That's true.
And
Yes, we ate earlier.
So we might fall asleep,
Yeah, we might
or
fall
we
asleep.
might be fiery and edgy. So we're going to move on. Let's talk about a couple topics. I
Yes.
know we have to keep things brief because we've got our
Yes.
format.
And
Everybody
last time we came in 58 minutes.
under. So does those minutes roll over too?
No, I'm not T-Mobile.
It was worth a shot, guys. So basically, everybody seems to be digging the 1 hour format. We're getting lots of good feedback,
Yep.
lots of good reviews. We seem to have found the nice balance between the gab
Yep.
and the information
Yep.
and the fun and the serious. So that's pretty cool stuff. We've got in this episode, you've already seen it, so I can't really like tell you about it because it's already gone down. But you just saw our new Q&A intro, which is pretty freaking exciting. We had our superstar Liz, who did
Rants and raves.
Yeah, Liz rants and raves. Is it Life in a Van too? Is that also?
Life in a Van is, yeah, Jake's thing. Yep.
Okay, Liz with Rants and Raves did our both DVD productions
Yeah.
along with her man
Jake with Life
Jake.
in a Van.
And so they did the prong collar DVD, they did the e-collar DVD, and then we asked her, hey, any chance you might throw a little bit of that like pixie dust onto our intro video? And she did, and it's slamming. So let us know what you think of it. I think it's pretty damn cool. Just we'd love to hear your feedback and see what you think. So that's that. We got Florida T3 coming up. We're getting out of town, getting out of town.
In about 5
Would we leave
days.
a couple days?
Yep.
So what, Saturday? Saturday we fly out late. You, after T3, are just going to be carousing around New Orleans and just having a good time and vacationing.
Britt and I are going down to New Orleans to work for a few days. And then we're doing T3 Accelerate down in New Orleans as well. Right.
So it ties in nicely. Gives you some good excuses to be down there during like Mardi Gras time, right? The crazy thing was we scheduled T3 without even realizing it was Mardi Gras weekend.
Because it's an earlier Mardi Gras this year.
Yeah, so we're like, oh, let's put it here. And then we're like, hotels are $1 million.
Exactly.
So it's been hard
It's going to be a smaller Accelerate. So if you want to come to Mardi Gras and you want to go to Accelerate, it's a good one because there's going to be a lot of more one-on-one.
Yeah, you get a lot of hands-on, one-on-one attention.
Yeah.
And you'll get to go out for Mardi Gras and like go crazy and have some fun. So if you're so inclined, there's still some spots available, but it's going to be fun just because everybody's going to have a good time doing Mardi Gras along with learning all the business and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
We had a little pure positive like gang up.
Oh yeah.
We got bum rushed, and poor Britt with her cool little video on Watson the German Shepherd got kind of gang rushed, gang attacked by a bunch of pure positive folks, and so if anybody saw my Periscope, if not, you can follow me at Periscope at the Good Dog.
Sean O'Shea.
There's only one D.
Yeah.
The Good Og, Sean O'Shea, no apostrophe, and you can find me there at Periscope, and I do pretty much a daily Q&A, which is actually pretty fun. We're having a great time with that.
Cool.
Answering lots of questions, business, entrepreneurship, training, whatever you got going on. And we talked a lot about the pure positive thing and how nasty it was. Like, Britt was doing some great training with a very easy, like, kind of situation, like some very mild training, and they were talking about, like abuse and bashing, and he's obviously been beaten within an inch of his life, and so, anyways, that was a whole big kerfuffle, and so we talked and addressed that, and tried to give everybody some information about how to best approach that kind of stuff when it shows up at your doorstep, which is to not engage with it, not go down the rabbit hole, ban, delete, get them gone, and focus on doing more positive, valuable work. So anyways, that's that. And from there, I'm going to jump on in because...
That's right. We got a boogie.
Right? Hey, everybody. It's Sean from The Good Dog, and this is The Good Dog's Q&A Saturday episode. What?
You didn't introduce me.
Oh my God, I'm falling apart here, right? The Indian food has got me distracted. I'm like, and this is my show with this chick over here. Hey everybody, it's Sean from The Good Dog, and on my right is the soon-to-be vacating Los Angeles in order to hang out in New Orleans, the lovely Laura Morgan / Mardi Gras Queen. And all this good stuff that you can't see is the Good Dog's Q&A Saturday, and it is episode number 60. But that's not a 60, that's a 6. So, like, am I good with 6? Are we good with this? We're good, right?
I always do the first number, and you do the second one.
Right, but
I can't hold up 60 fingers.
I got stuck there for a moment. I was a little problem solving, right?
That's another 60.
Let's just say that, like, I managed to escape high school back when the one requirement was basic math.
Yes.
They changed it the next year where you needed algebra and all sorts of other things
That's
to
right.
get out.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
But like we said last time, for you Q&Ers, holding up 7 fingers.
There's limitations.
That's not algebra.
There's limitations here. Anyways, that said, you ready to jump, lady?
I am.
Okay.
All right.
So stop hassling me and let's get into the questions.
Okay, question number 1 comes from Miss Julie. Julie says, I have a client who has a dog. No, wait. I have a client that's had his dog, Bryn, for 8 years since she was a pup. She's a very well-trained dog, and the owner has done a great job. Problem, Bryn will bust out of any kennel and destroy everything she can when left alone. She's a very strong Mastiff. The owner just got engaged and his fiance wants Bryn gone unless things change. So problem 1 is the busting out of the kennel, and problem 2 is the struggle between the guy and his lady. I worked on place with Bryn and she did great. We will then work on getting her comfortable in the kennel once he buys a new one. This is an area that I struggle with as a trainer, so any help that you can give me would be beyond appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. So, Julie, first thing I'd suggest is that they pick up a Winger Zinger. Funny name, right? Winger Zinger is about the strongest crate that you can get.
Is it a Zinger Winger?
I think it's a Winger Zinger.
Because I called it a Winger Zinger and I got corrected.
Is Zinger Winger? I think it's Winger Zinger.
Okay, all right. I know
But
all about it.
feel free to Google it both ways and see what you come up with, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the strongest crate going. It's going to cost some bucks, but especially for a big one, for a Mastiff. Yeah. But the truth is that he won't get out of that, right? So that's one piece of it. So I'd get a Zinger, Winger, Zinger. And beyond that, hopefully your dog is somewhat e-collar trained, because if that's the case, then you can set up a camera and then you can watch from another room with the e-collar on, and anytime your Mastiff starts to escalate, or Julie, anytime your client's Mastiff starts to escalate, they can correct and bring him back down. It's one of the most useful things for crate breaking, separation anxiety, dogs that are really having like major freakouts inside the crate. E-collar on, make sure the dog's conditioned to it, understands what it means, at least do some basic recall for a week. And then you can actually say, while you're not even in the room, dog's in there doing its thing, you see him start to whine and escalate, pop, correction, dog relaxes. So that would be the main strategies. Get a really rock solid crate, Winger Zinger, Zinger Winger, and then make sure you use a camera and e-collar to make sure you monitor and manage any kind of escalation, any kind of escalation, funny business.
All that, yeah.
And then the last part of it is I'd get into I'd suggest some pre-marriage counseling for that couple, because if the guy's demanding that the Mastiff goes, boy, does that
The girl.
No, the guy's demanding that the Mastiff goes if the behavior is not fixed.
Oh, okay.
Unless I read it wrong, I don't think I did.
His fiance wants Bryn gone, so girl.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So, I thought it was.
I don't know.
I'm obviously confused.
Maybe it's to his.
Well, who knows? I'm obviously confused. So whether it's the guy or the girl, it doesn't matter. Like, I think entering into a marriage and then laying down a law that you're going to have to get rid of your dog, I think that doesn't bode well for future interactions, and a lot of resentment possibilities that could be built up.
Unless the dog's making their life hell and the guy's like, it's fine.
And unless they both feel the same way and that it's a bad fit.
Unless it's like, look, like, we can't live like this. We got to do something about it or go.
But we're not talking about. Let's be clear. We're not talking about a dog who's biting people. We're not talking about a dog who's like attacking. We're talking about a dog who's breaking out of a crate.
Yeah.
And that's the main. Yeah, that's the main issue. So guys, that should be
She'll destroy everything when she can when left alone.
Yeah, because they haven't found a crate that works.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So find a crate that works. Get it in the Winger Zinger, and then work through the process, just like I said with the e-collar. Get it done. You can keep your dog, and easy peasy. You shouldn't be getting rid of a dog, especially if you're attached to the dog, just over something like crate breaking. It's too easy to fix.
And with the, we don't just obviously we don't just buy stronger crates here. We do all of the foundation work, which I assume you're doing. So doing all that foundation work is going to get the dog in a different space altogether. So we get crate breakers in here all the time, and we don't have a Winger Zinger. We don't even know what it's called, a Zinger Winger Zinger. I mean, obviously we put them in a stronger of the crates out there.
Yeah, and we reinforce them with zip ties and things like that.
Yeah, but the whole thing is getting them in a different gear when they're outside of the crate, so that when they go in the crate, they're not in that space.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're doing that work, but that's going to be a big part of it too.
Yeah. So like Laura said, foundation work. Get the mindset in the right space, and then address specifically the issues. But here's the real last thing that I'll wrap this up with, is that what we see over and over again, crates that can be pushed where dogs feel flex in them will tend to get like a lot of interest and continuous pushing on that crate until they break it.
Yeah.
A crate where there's zero, where there's 100% resistance and nothing flexes, the dog's like, I'm not getting out of here, so I'm just like done. But if like the door flexes like this, the dog's like, this looks like a a viable chance of me getting out of here. So. That's what I suggest for you, Julie, and your clients. And sorry if I implied that the guy was the bad dude. Maybe
no. I mean, I was just making it clear, just because it's clear to everyone. But yeah, that's such a tough situation. Like dealing with clients that their stuff is like becoming your stuff. There's also the thing of putting down boundaries as a trainer. It's like, I am not a marriage counselor. You guys have to work this out too. Yeah. It's only going to work if you're working it out, and I can't sit here and like. It's not my job. I can help and facilitate the whole situation, but at a certain point, they've got to do that work. They can't just be putting it on you. So,
which is why I said pre-marriage counseling.
Yes.
Right there in the notes. All right,
right.
Ready to move on?
Yes.
Let's move on.
Thanks.
What's that?
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
Okay,
so
guys.
we got Gary.
Question number 2 comes from Gary.
Gary
says, I'm starting Ecollar on our 1-year-old GSD. We'll be using a mini Educator 2-dog system because another GSD puppy will be part of our family later this year.
Yep.
Would you explain the process of the use for 2 dogs? Should they be worked separately or together? Long-winded, sorry.
Gary, that's hardly long-winded. You should compare your message to like some of these that go down here. Like, there's like major Gone with the Wind, War and the Peace style.
Which is fine.
Yeah. But you're easy.
Good.
You're easy, bud. Okay, so first we've got a brand new video out for the 302.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. I'll make that live in the next couple of days.
Cool.
So you can grab it. I don't know if we can link that up or not in the video.
Bing.
Bing. Where's it going to be? Is it going to be here?
Wherever
Bing.
you want it.
Okay, cool.
It's fine.
So hopefully we'll...
Or here?
Yep. Here. So hopefully we'll be able to link up that video of the 302, and that'll show you exactly how to set it up, how to work it with 2 dogs, that whole thing, because I'm not exactly sure if your question is more pertaining to the actual tool or if your question is more pertaining to how do I train 2 dogs one at a time. And so I'm going to kind of handle both, and that's by saying check out that video, the 302 video, which is going to walk you through everything, featuring Miss Brittany. And then second, always train 1 dog at a time. So if we get dogs that come in from a family and it's 2 dogs at a time, we never start them together. And never, ever. They walk separately. They come in and train separately. There's no dogs around. It's quiet. Get each dog individually rocking and rolling and in a good spot. And when that starts to look really solid, then you can start to bring the other dog around. But even then, like, I'd put the other dog in place while you work the other dog. Let the other dog just watch. Right. Teach the dog, recall, place, sit, down, stuff like that. The other dog is just hanging in place. Maybe he's even back-tied. Once that's cool, then
you have the 1 dog now, so you guys can start that now.
Right, and get him into a really good spot. Yeah. But the real strategy is always 1 dog at a time.
Yep.
Just make it really simple. 1 dog at a time, low distractions. Don't set either of you guys up or the dogs for too much challenge, and then just build it organically. And when you'll know when the dogs are ready to start to kind of like, work together. And then once that happens, that's a lot of fun. Once you can get both dogs like recalling together and going to place, and it's a good time. But
the shepherds are like,
because they're smart. They're going to be totally into it. And for a lot of our clients, we just have the dogs always work together. But with the shepherds, you might be able to get some nice separation of like calling one, the other one doesn't move, calling the other one, and like ask a little bit more of them just because they got that shepherdy brain. And that's, I think that's it for you, Gary. Hopefully that helps. And then that 302 video should help you set up your collar and make sure it's all rock solid.
Yeah, but just like teaching them separately, and then once they're good, working them together, basically.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Thanks. All right, guys. Question number 3 comes from Jen. Jen says, hi, Sean and Laura. Jen from Illinois with a question specifically addressing one of my 4 dogs, Boomer, a 3-year-old pittie mix. She puts all her numbers in like parentheses. You see that? 1 of 4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fancy.
That's a really long.
Yes.
It's a really long
so
message,
basically, Boomer had high prey drive. She's worked with other dogs before, but much thanks to the e-collar, prong, muzzle, and stuff, he's solid on his commands.
Yeah.
But now she's struggling with strangers, new people. I advocate for him strongly and consistently and tell everyone, people he doesn't know, don't pet him. Fortunately, he makes good choices. He looks to her for guidance. He used to lunge and growl. And he does good with family and friends. But she's always honest with strangers, but she's always let down by the humans, professionals most willing to help us. So she took him to the vet and
had problems
had
there.
issues there. So she's having issues with like strangers, like
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I just wrote like human uncomfortable pittie,
Yeah.
and she's looking at how to create progress with that situation.
Right. Okay.
It's a really long message.
Yeah. You guys can read the whole question on our Facebook page, but basically, it's a dog that used to be really struggle with strangers, and now.
And dogs too.
Oh really?
Yeah, she's like kicked butt. I
wow.
think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was human aggressive and dog aggressive, and she's like
she took
kicked butt.
Wow,
Yeah, which is pretty fantastic.
Cool.
So awesome work, really fantastic work and great persistence, Jen. Just really amazing, great stuff. I think she said it's been like 2 years of work, which is fantastic. Yeah. So a couple things that I would get into, right? So. First thing is that before you can like counter condition a dog to feel differently about things, the first thing you got to do is stop the behavior, and you have to stop it cold. You have to stop it really firmly. So and I know you're saying like you're trying to keep an eye on it, and like it's hard to know when your dog is going to kind of like jump and do the wrong thing. But I would be looking for those situations, setting up, be ready. If you have to have the dog muzzled, whatever it is. But I would really like you to focus on creating inhibitions about that decision, right? Your dog can be scared, freaked out, anxious, nervous, and still make better choices. Yeah. And that's a really important distinction to make. Like, oh, he's uncomfortable around strangers. Great, but don't bite them. Great, but don't lunge at them. Great, you're not allowed to do that. And the way you create that is through consequences and inhibitions, right? So that would be something that if it was my dog and I was going out and I saw even a little bit of that, he would get a really, really firm correction. I might press and hold the button for a couple seconds, and it might be ugly, but that dog is going to start to make some very clear, different choices about how do I react even when I'm stressed, even when I'm worried, even when I'm concerned. Now, on top of that, once you've created that inhibition, once you've gotten the dog, and a lot of people are going to be afraid and be worried about like you're correcting a dog that's fearful or growling or anything like that. I just see it work all the time. So the other part of this would be food work. Once you get the dog into a great once you get a dog like that into a really great space to where you're not getting that kind of sequence of escalation, then what I would do is I would use food drive, and I'd probably muzzle him. I'd have people over, people that are really safe and comfortable and good with dogs, and I wouldn't feed him for a while. I'd let him become very famished, and then I would create a situation where if he gets naughty, he gets corrected. If he's not naughty, then he gets a chance at actually eating out of a stranger's hand, which starts to bridge that gap of that weirdness that he's got going on. But the only way it bridges is by stopping it, and then by having enough desire for the food that it'll override the stress, fear, weirdness, or anything like that. All that stuff's hard. None of that stuff's easy. All of it requires a ton more work. And like for a lot of people, I think it would take or feel like a lot more risk, right? Correcting a dog firmly for that. Like, is there going to be fallout? Not feeding my dog for a couple of days, so he really generates a lot of food drive to where he's really motivated and interested in food. That can be a hard one for a lot of people. So, but that's, you asked me what I would do. If I had to get a dog into a better space, those would be my choices. Stop the behavior. Don't ever do that again. And now, when you give me a good choice, I'm going to start to create really positive associations, but only by leveraging food drive.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I was just going to talk about the doctor in that situation. You're saying I'm let down by humans that are the ones that are willing to help and work with us through the issue, if it is like stuff at the vet, or if you're having issues of you just need to be more firm. I imagine you are, though. That's the thing. You know, with vets and stuff, if you know you're going to have an issue before you get there, you can call them beforehand. You can tell them, you know, long before.
I get the feeling she's doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like she got the old, like, you know, surprise new vet showed up because her other vet got called into the emergency room.
Right.
And so all of a sudden the other one walked in and was like, hey, how you doing? And like just
bad.
bad news stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if she's not setting boundaries firm enough or she's just had a bad luck of the draw.
Yeah. So just keep it up, I guess, and then do all the other stuff.
Yeah, all the stuff we said. Like I said, that's the hard work, and that's the work that people don't always want to talk about, but that's how you make dogs move through that stuff.
Yep.
Have to create an inhibition. Have to.
Okay, cool. Good luck.
Thanks.
Question number 4 comes from Sue. Sue says, I have a question. On your last Q&A, question number 2 was about the person's husband who didn't want to use the e-collar for their anxious, fearful dog when someone comes to their home.
Right.
I just bought the Mini Educator and would like to use this tool for the same issues my dogs have. How do I go about using it the correct way? Thanks.
Good grief. Do you want to tackle this one? You could tackle this one.
Well...
I've got a few notes you could like dive off of.
No, this isn't Laura's secret surprise question. Oh, no. Oh,
you haven't had one in a long time. I can just write Laura's secret surprise question right here and make that happen.
No.
I have that authority. Okay, so foundation work, right? I mean, you want to know how to start the e-collar stuff. We always start with foundation work, recall, place, sit, down, and etc. Like that's where you start. And you could use our free videos. You could order the DVDs depending on how far you want to dive into it. Laura might link it up. I don't know. I don't know how many links I can ask for per episode.
Just point.
Just point. Bing. So I wanna link up our DVDs. Would you do that through thegooddog.net or thegooddog.way?
Don't worry about it.
Look at that. I don't even have to sweat.
Well, if you're on a mobile, you can't click out. So basically, you can, if you want our DVDs, there's thegooddog.net and there's a store tab.
Yeah.
Or there's thegooddogway.com, and that is just all a store, basically.
Right. And I think the cool thing for you would be to go to thegooddog.net because then you have options.
Yeah.
You can check out the free videos and see if those work really nicely, right? So that would be what I would do. You got to do foundation training first. Use those free videos if you want.
Place,
yeah, all of that stuff. And if you want more, then there's more in the foundation DVD and in the e-collar video. So if you want to go further into that stuff. Have everyone work with the dog, right? So if you've got a very similar situation, like I think she mentioned the other person who wrote the question, I don't know if she's got the identical one of like a husband that and the dog are like at odds, but if that's the case, or if the kids, anybody like that, have them work with the dog. Recalling the dog to people that the dog doesn't want to go to is a huge way to start to create different perceptions with the dog. So that would be something that I would definitely recommend. And then one of the other things that you can add to create some more leverage is only feed the dog when the dog is working and doing all of that stuff, right? Once again, we're talking about food drive, things like that. And food drive only works if the dog, like if a dog's scared or nervous or fearful, and you haven't like created food drive, and by food drive I mean like created real hunger, the dog's not going to care. And he won't go anywhere. He won't be interested, and he won't actually interact or take the food. So there's this place where like fear's here, hunger's here, but when hunger gets here, it overrides fear, and then you can really make some more progress like that. So that would be kind of the approach. I mean, we got tons of videos, so you can just kind of find your way, do the foundation work, get your dog really rock solid. Just like training the dog, like all the basics are going to make the dog way more stable, way less fearful, way more comfortable.
Yeah, and you're talking about, just the e-collar stuff is basically the way that it's done is just, pressure, teaching. You start with like a teaching thing where it's pressure, using pressure like constant pressure at low levels, and then you move to the point where you're not using the pressure on the e-collar at all, and that's kind of the corrective phase in the training. And so then at that point, the whole thing is just teaching it fairly. So the last thing you want to do is just get that educator and just put it on your dog and start pressing buttons. You want to really create a foundation, move very, very slow with all of it. And then you have a fully off-leash trained, obedience trained dog. So
yeah, good point.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, question number 5
This
comes
is Emma.
from Emma. Emma says, "Hey guys, I'm new to your channel and I'm so happy I found you. You guys are amazing and I love you. I have a 2-year-old Rottie mix that's fully Ecollar trained using some of your videos and other resources online. She's amazing with basic obedience, but has massive fear aggression when strangers enter my home. She's great with me, her walker, all dogs, and all people she knows. I've spoken to a few trainers in my area who seem to all blame her fear on her breed, which is territorial, and bad genetics.
Yeah.
They told me it's almost impossible to fix, and all I can do is maintain structure and obedience, but to never let her mingle with new people. I refused to give up and tried doing behavior mod at home. She was back-tied on her place when I let a friend in to try to toss her kibble. Although she took the kibble, the fearful, aggressive barking started and never stopped. I corrected on the e-collar, but she got worse. I feel like I failed in a sense because rather than correcting the behavior, I reinforced it by letting her eat and bark. Can you guys give me advice on how to do this correctly? Do you have a video online for protocol? I can't stop the barking. Also, do you have many dogs that are successful after this protocol? I know there are no limits, no guarantees and some limits, but I'd rather try again than give up on her."
Yeah. Okay, Emma, I wrote you some notes because that's a pretty complicated question, right? So we've got reactivity, fearfulness, fearful reactions to strangers in the home.
Yeah.
So first off, I'd firm up all rules, like everywhere. My suspicion, and you might be a badass, but my suspicion is that if we could peer in, we'd probably find some moments where things weren't getting like
Totally
quite
handled.
enough, quite enough firmness, quite enough accountability to get your dog's mindset in the right space.
Rotties are serious business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pushy, stubborn.
They need like, not like a strong hand. They just need like a tough. They don't need all the soft stuff. The soft stuff comes secondary with guys like that, really.
Yeah.
So if there is soft stuff.
Yeah. So first off, firm up all the rules, all the consequences, and reduce affection. Those would be my first go-tos. Those are the things that we do here as soon as a dog comes in to help them move through that.
Yeah.
Affection and soft stuff, all that comes after the dog has moved into a different space, not before. Second, while back tied in place, if you get any monkey business, like the sequence of escalation, correct firmly, higher, more quickly, right? So this is always a hard one for people because the dog hasn't done a big explosion, and so what typically happens is the dog starts to like, ears come up, they get a little bit like this, and they like, right? Yeah. The second you see the dog go from relaxed to like this, that's when you correct. The second you see it change from like, that's when you go after them. That's when you really lay down a firm consequence because the mind is still fairly clear, but is starting to move in that direction. Share a very firm consequence and you can actually like cap this and bring it down. It sounds like what's happened is that your dog's gotten reactive and then you've tried to correct and you've tried to you probably started a little lower, moved up, but what it's done is it's lifted your dog up versus capping. As your dog moves up, you cap it and bring your dog back down. But that has to happen, with really good timing, and that's how you get the dog back into a good space. Yeah. So that's that. And then, like I said, don't chase it with the e-collar, make sure you cap it. Thirdly, after she's not engaging or escalating in the behavior, then once again, this is like a broken record, but there's a lot of dogs with similar behaviors, then you could do food work with the dog, right? So you were talking about throwing kibble and things like that. Don't throw kibble to dogs that are growling, snotty, uncomfortable. Throw kibble to or have somebody do food work with a dog that's like in a really good space. Those are the mindsets that you want to reward. Those are the dogs that you want to say, that's what I like and that's what I want to see more of. Once again, if you're going to have people over, do some food drive stuff where the dog is more hungry and skip a meal or two, and then the dog is much more apt to want to take the food. So, but like I have a note here that says you can't counter condition, which is what you were trying to do. You can't counter condition until you first stop the reactive sequence. I hope that makes sense. I hope that lands because that's maybe the most important thing is that for us, we always go after like that whatever the explosive escalating sequence of problem behavior is, correct that. Knock it off. You're not allowed to do that. You have to find a new way to deal with that. And then once the dog is into a better space with that, then we can reward your affection, food, whatever we want to do. So, but that's your first order of business. And then I also said he's a possible, Roddy is a possible bonker candidate. So if you look up Gary Wilkes on YouTube, you'll see lots of, I don't know if you can link that up. Bing! But we can try.
What is
it? Gary Wilkes.
Okay. Which video?
I think he's got like Avi and Neil. There's a couple on there, but he's always wielding a bonker. And a bonker is just a rolled up towel with rubber bands or tape at the end, and he just he marks it with a no and throws it at the dog, and dogs really don't like things being thrown at them, and that tends to have a fairly big impact consequence-wise. And you'll see dogs like that won't react to an e-collar appropriately or a prong collar or something else. You use the bonker and the dog's like, man, I'm cashing my chips in, I'm good, I'm all done. So it's also something else to check out. And like I said, you can watch Gary use a bonker in a bunch of different videos and watch dogs do really well with it. It's just another consequence, another aversive. It's just another way of saying, like, I don't like that behavior and you got to choose something else.
Yeah.
Cool?
Cool. Good luck. Let us know.
Cool.
Thanks.
You know what that means? Speed round. It's time to go speed round.
Speed round. Okay, let me get the timer ready.
Oh man, are we back to that? Are you going to take some of these?
No.
What? No, I think we're going to pull some out for you. I don't think this is right.
Really?
No, I don't think it's right that I get all the pressure.
But you're the big teeth.
And you get all these like pictures on Facebook, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at Laura's lovely face." I wish Sean would be behind the camera and Laura would be out more. Always celebrating
I put the show
you.
Together.
Always. No. I mean, like just pictures of you. The picture I shot and posted yesterday.
I know.
You got a lot of play.
I know. I'm just saying, like.
Was that?
I also do work on the show behind the scenes.
What Sean said, not me. The other Sean said. Your material would be a lot more clickable if her face was on there more often.
Right.
And like, you're
I'm
like,
in love with you.
Yeah, you're like, ate it up.
All right. Okay, so Brea.
Yeah.
We have a question from the speed round question. So question number 6.
Yep.
Brea, I think, says, my 14-month-old Dobie has become overprotective of his soft toys and empty water bottles. Please help.
Bad Dobie.
Action.
Okay, so teach him the out command, right? Easy peasy. Link it up here. Bing! And the out command will show you exactly how we work with dogs, but it's on e-collar, right? You could do it on prong collar, it's a lot harder. But so I'm going to just go to the secondary part of this, which is teach foundation work. We can link up the out, like I just said. We can link up the website, which is www.thegooddog.net, and you can look for the, like, once again, if you just condition the dog to the e-collar and get some recall going on, then you can start to use it to teach out and things like that. And like, if you're seriously concerned, like if this is just like, oh, he's not great with bottles and toys and it's not a big deal, that's up to you. But if you're like, this is serious and I want it done, watch our out command, and that will show you, like, we work with resource guarders all the time, and it'll show you exactly how to move through that. But you have to do the work, the foundation work with the e-collar to get the dog into a good space so you can start working through that. Your dog's just being snotty and making bad choices.
That was great.
Thanks.
Great work on that.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay. I've got a lot of work that I do here while you're doing this. And like,
I know. Does everybody know what you're doing?
Like, we've already explained it.
No, but I just think it's so awesome. So Laura's just over here, like, taking notes about things we need to link and how to.
That's why it's hard for me to, like, Laura's secret surprise question isn't fun.
You're like,
the next one I have to, like, read.
Yeah, and the whole thing is, like, you're making all sorts of editing notes as well.
Yeah.
So to make sure that you include the right stuff.
Or, there's
she's a secret weapon. Secret weapon over here.
Okay, cool. Question number 7 comes from Sally. She says, hey, I need some help getting my new baby some help with separation anxiety.
Now, I would like everybody to just pause for a second and just notice the grin and the slightly critical facial expression.
we gotta go because you only have.
Right.
Here, we'll start it over there.
You're just getting me out of this?
Yeah. Okay. Ready? We have 1 minute.
Okay.
Go.
Anyways, okay, Sally. So, train your dog with our free videos, right? Link it up. Bing! Which is thegooddog.net, and do-it-yourself videos. If you really want to make this happen, train your dog, get at least leash and prong, and teach your dog all the basics so the mindset can get right, so your relationship can get right, so the attitude gets right, so you can get your dog into a good space. You got to start minding like affection, personal access to your space, all sorts of stuff. But most importantly, and I mentioned this in another comment to you, and I don't know if you ever saw it, but I want you to watch Jeff Gelman's video on separation anxiety. Link it up. Bing! It's going to be a ton of them. But I mean, there's a lot of good resources. That's why I'm putting you to work like that. So the Jeff Gelman separation anxiety video is going to cover all those little moments of things that I could go through right now, but I'll run out of time. And he's going to run you through all the list of things that you should and shouldn't be doing.
Yes.
Okay? Super important. But once again, the stuff about like my new baby and you know, like you want to be real careful about the way that you're perceiving your dog
because your dog gets attached to you the way that you're attached to it, and then when you leave, of course it has anxiety. You know what I mean? Just like anything, a little bit of healthy boundaries, a little bit of obedience, a little bit of like, okay, you do your thing, I do mine. That creates less enmeshment.
And to be honest, like I know we're over a 60-second thing,
This is a big one,
but we can always tell the dogs that have been overly spoiled, had more access, too much affection, because they all freak out in the crate when we leave, or especially like when one of the females leave. We can tell who's done more spoiling, whether it's been in a shelter, rescue situation, foster, or home situation. You see, like, I can walk in, the dogs are like, Brittany walks in and then walks out. She doesn't say anything, and they're like, "Arr!" Because the association of like, oh, a female has been like the connection to whatever.
Treats and affection and all that stuff.
A lot of nurturing stuff. So I would say like, both of us are a little concerned about the baby stuff. Shift gears out of your dog being your baby and shift gears into your dog being your dog. Watch that separation anxiety video and get ready to do hard work. You can make it happen.
Cool. Okay. Question number 8 comes from Instagram. Laura Narek2 says, I have a 1-year-old American Bulldog. At the beginning of training, does the e-collar stay on all the time? I'm worried about my dog developing an anxiety issue if I take it off and on. Thanks.
Brief.
Yeah.
I like it. To the point. Okay, so Laura Narek, no, your e-collar should be on either whenever you're supervising or whenever you're working with your dog, right? So your question was, does it stay on all the time? No, it's not on all the time, but like, here's where it gets tricky is like, if you're gonna work with your dog for 35 minutes a day and then take the e-collar off, chances are at some point in that day you're going to accidentally give your dog a command or something like that when the e-collar's not on, and your dog's going to start to become collar wise. So what I would suggest is that yes, the e-collar is on whenever you're supervising, whenever you're working with the dog, whenever you're around the dog, switch it back and forth every 3 to 4 hours to a different side like that. The only time it comes off is when the dog goes in the crate, when you leave the house, or when the dog goes to bed at night. And that's how you make sure that you don't get a dog that's collar-wise. You start taking the collar off, and you give a couple commands when the dog's across the room without the collar on. You're like, he was so good today. And he's like, oh, she's got no way to enforce this. Cool, when I don't feel this, I don't need to come. When it's on,
especially a 1-year-old. I see when I can mess up.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's super duper important.
Yeah, and there's no anxiety that's going to be caused by taking it on and off. And,
I was confused by that. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I think I forgot to set the timer, so I think it's Brea 1 minute. But basically, I really think that some people feel like the collar will be associated with obedience and bad stuff. So when I put
corrections
it on,
and stuff.
My dog's Cujo has his e-collar on all day because we work with lots of different stuff, and I get the e-collar on, and he's excited about it. He knows like it could mean park time, it could mean work time, it could mean like
bite time,
lifetime, bite time. So it's just kind of like it doesn't have. If you train it correctly, an e-collar shouldn't have a negative association.
Yeah. Great answer.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, so question number 9 comes from Trisha L.
Yep.
On Instagram. She says, my rescued Mastiff is suspicious of homeless, I'm with you, Mastiff, drunk, strung out, and mentally unstable people, especially the ones that talk to themselves, good old downtown LA. He barks and lunges at them 99% of the time. It's difficult to advocate for my dog when these people are not in their right mind. Yeah, well, that's like New Orleans, we have a little of that.
Yeah.
And don't understand when I tell them to back off, they'll yell at me or my dog, which escalates it. I would avoid them completely if I could, but sometimes they literally pop out of nowhere, like from
it's like a video game.
Dumpster. I know, it sounds like a zombie movie or something. So I can't make a timely correction. My dog wears a prong collar and muzzle, but once he launches, it's hard to redirect him both mentally and physically.
Yeah.
He's much larger than me. Would I have more control with an e-collar in the situation? I wish I could put e-collars on people instead. Thank you so much. I really enjoy watching your videos. Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, so this is Trisha, right?
Yeah.
So Trisha, I'd be suspicious too, right? I think me and Laura are down with your dog, and probably you. That's a really hard situation.
Yeah.
Anytime you've got human beings that are behaving in ways that are unorthodox or weird or unnatural or just unusual, I should say, it's going to cause a lot of dogs to be freaked out because they know something weird's going on, right? I mean, it's just the case. The only way to really override that is to like really provide strong leadership and to use tools that are really going to empower you to make sure that you can lead that dog in a way that's like, buddy, I don't care what jumps out, you walk with me and you don't move. That's how you kind of get your dog out of that space. And to do that, like the prong collar is probably not going to be enough leverage for you to try and get your dog into that space.
Yeah.
So I'd highly recommend that you do e-collar training.
Big dog like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd highly recommend you do e-collar training. At least do, you can get a mini educator for a couple $100 or even less than that. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
What? God, I forgot that I was on the 60-second.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just wrap. Okay.
All right.
Man, I totally blew this one. Okay.
Roll it
I'm trying. So get a mini educator for under a couple $100. E-collar heel video, FUSA, the GSD on our YouTube channel.
Yep.
Link it up. And
I'm so into that.
And I'm loving this. And that will help you teach your dog how to do e-collar heel, and that will absolutely change your game. And if you need more help, you can go to www.thegooddog.net and watch more free videos or order our DVDs that can help you kind of like more step-by-step hand-holding, work you through the process. But e-collar is the way to go for any kind of reactivity stuff like that where you need more leverage.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yep.
All right, guys. Question number 10.
I blew that one.
It's all right. Question number 10 comes from Ruben. We know Ruben.
Yeah.
Ruben says, when using the dominant dog collar, should I apply pressure as soon as my dog's ears go up and forehead wrinkles? And I'm confused on what to do after he relaxes. Should I be walking away when he relaxes so his butt faces the dog, or move him in a clockwise fashion with him focusing on me and his butt towards the dog, and then continue to walk as the dog passes?
A lot of butt talk.
When I have him sit in the clockwise moving, he has a tendency to want to spin around, at which time I apply pressure with the dominant dog collar. I hope it makes sense. This is also regarding my dog, Oso, the bulldog.
And we remember Oso fondly. Yeah. Oso was a little terror.
Yeah.
Okay, Ruben. So let's see if I can beat the timer real quick. So first, use space always. I know we talked about that at T3, but you always have to use space, especially with highly reactive dogs, to try and have a little bit of leverage, right? So first you got to do that. As far as the dominant dog collar, as soon as the very beginning of the sequence, ears, forehead wrinkle, or even like the breathing changes, then pressure up, hold that pressure until Oso relaxes. Once he relaxes, you answer it by releasing the pressure. Now you're going to have to experiment and find what works best for you. For me, typically, I put dogs in sits when I do that. I don't like to walk them by. I like to stop the moment, freeze it. And if it helps, if the dog cannot tolerate looking at the dog, then I will turn the dog around. If he's going to fight and struggle, make sure you use the dominant dog collar to keep him in the right space. Face him away if possible, like I said, and then release pressure when he releases and walk away. Yeah, so the kind of already hit my notes. Once he's cool, once he relaxes, then walk away. But always be aware of that space part of it, because if you're too close with Oso, he's going to have a really hard time managing himself. So make sure you get space, dominant dog collar up, pressure. Don't lift him off the ground, just enough to like take the wind out of his sails. When he relaxes, you relax, guide him away, and go from there. And like I said, typically I like to stop, turn the dog around if I have to or can. Cool.
Is that okay, Ruben?
Hopefully. So, and then we had this one last question that was on the Sean O'Shea page, and it's okay. I'll just kind of like
'cause you're just asking for
because we don't have time for it, Danielle. And one of the main reasons is that you posted 2 video links on it, and neither of the video links will work. So you said your service dog has been attacked multiple times, and now he's super reactive, and so you were looking for help with how to deal with that. What I'd like you to do is send a video or 2 to us, thegooddog.la.
No. Don't. If you send it through email, it might never come to us. And people are like, I sent it, but it got stuck in the ether. So you have to do Dropbox. So our Dropbox account is thegooddog.la@gmail.com. Gotcha. So you just sign up for a free Dropbox account. You get a free gigabyte, I think. If you need more than that, then you have to upgrade. But a gig should be enough for some short videos. And then it just says, who do you want to share this with? And just put in our email address. And then it goes straight to us, and then you add a little note. We had someone do it. I think Jacqueline Warbis did it this week, and it was awesome.
What's the email address they sent to?
I just told you. thegooddog.la@gmail.com.
Okay, gotcha.
So just do that.
Yep.
If you need to send videos, that's the best way. Unless it's like a really short video and you just want to email it, but those sometimes can just get caught.
Yeah. So we didn't get to watch any videos. What I'd like to see is not the attack. What I'd like to see is you working with your dog around other dogs that are causing reactivity. You said you went up to 36 or something like that. That may not nearly be enough e-collar-wise to be able to bring your dog down and cap that stuff. So if you can capture some footage of you working him, let's check it out, and then we'll give a more in-depth assessment.
Because it's a pretty intense question, right?
Yeah. I need to kind of see stuff like that. Yeah, I need to see it, and I want to see, like, is your dog blowing off those lower corrections, and does he need to go higher, and do you need permission for that, and all that good stuff. Yeah. So that is that.
Wow.
Another one in the book, Laura Morgan.
What we did here.
How would you time-wise?
We're checking.
I'm checking.
Ooh, we're going to be right on, guys.
Where are we at?
Awesome. Well, it's at 52 minutes, but we have CC and we have some stuff.
Oh, right.
So
awesome.
Good.
Great. Nice work, Laura Morgan.
Guys.
So that's 67 in the books. Nice work. She's the awesomest. And what's that? Like, don't touch my hair.
Ladies would understand with a high ponytail. You always like to do this.
I don't muss it up. I just go like this.
It's not that, but like a high ponytail, it's tight.
Oh, does it hurt?
So it hurts a little bit, but it also pulls it out of the elastic, so you have to reach.
Sorry, guys. I'm learning. I'm still learning. Still learning proper etiquette.
Does any other lady have that problem? Like, if you have a tight ponytail, if someone touches your hair, it can pull it, and then you get like a little thing, or
so I'm just gonna
it.
go.
No, that's.
Anyways, guys, so that's episode 67 in the bag.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are digging it. Please let us know what you thought of the new intro, because the new intro was super cool. We're super excited by it, and I hope you guys are digging it as well. And Laura's continuously, excuse me, Manny, Laura's continuously upgrading all the graphics and everything like that. So the show's just going to get better. Mm-hmm. And if it's got CC in it, how bad can it be?
How bad can it be, guys?
Right?
I wonder if we're going to get the most views ever because of CC.
Right, we probably will. Maybe we can get free Indian food.
That would be awesome. That would save us a lot of
money. A lot of money. Anyways, guys, we're going to get out of here. Have a great weekend. Yes. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks for everything.
Yeah, thanks for the support. We'll be gone, so we're going to find creative ways to try and get this shot.
Yep.
We'll be in Florida soon, so like maybe we can do a little. I got some plans. I got some ideas. So maybe we'll do some stuff where we shoot maybe a question every lunch break or something like that. And just have some fun with it.
Cool,
all right. All right, guys. Take care.
So
see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
How's that cappuccino?
God, great.
Oh. We gotta be.
It's a very tasty beverage, and you always get the best ones made.